weather, 4 seasons in one day, man. It's crazy. Anyways, so look, Gary Vee was actually something they said quite a number of years ago. It's basically you got to slow down on the macro, as in how much you can get done over an extended period of time, and speed up on the micro, how much you can get done in a day, right? And so most people have that reversed, and I think this is really prevalent. And so, like I say, it also relates to a video Jacob sent me recently, so I've probably stolen his content for the day, but anyway, story for another time. But basically, it's something that I've been thinking about for a little while as well. And this was also echoed in our Super Affiliate Accelerator coaching call, which we host every Wednesdays. And obviously, if you're interested in learning more about what we get up to in there, hit me up. But basically, we're discussing, I guess, my journey. And now, because this is my life, so I'll make it all about me. But basically, many moons ago, when I started affiliate marketing in 2011, and I had really no idea what the hell I was doing. And like that carried on for a very long time. I went through all sorts of things. And I built blogs, and I was working in financial markets. So I was trying to teach people what I was doing in my offline job. I was trying to bring that online. So started doing that, got into CPA marketing, ran ads across every conceivable network, started getting into e-commerce. You guys know the drill, went bankrupt, sad like small violins playing, all that type of stuff. And the kind of crazy thing is that I was just so determined to make something happen online. Like I just knew that there was something out there that I could make happen for me. And so with that belief, and even though it wavered on various occasions, with that belief, it was able to allow me to propel myself forward. So every time I'd have a setback, which there were thousands of them, I'll write a book one day. You guys, I'm only just scratching the surface with this stuff, with the account shutdowns and setbacks, and you name it. It's been an interesting ride. But throughout it all, I knew that over an extended period of time, that if you chip away at something and you just keep chipping away at that thing, then eventually you're going to figure it out. And I had that strong belief. And even though, like I say, it wavered from time to time, I'd go through some sort of setback, like a massive one, like an account shutdown, or when I was running Facebook ads professionally, and then Facebook said, we don't like you running ads anymore, you can't run ads. And so then I thought, well, you know what, I'll just use my wife's account as well. And then that got shut down, so on and so forth, right? And so, I faced some setbacks, but I also knew throughout the entirety of it all that basically if I kept chipping away, if I kept like going at it, if I kept improving, if I kept putting in the reps, then eventually something was going to work. And it did. Now, some of you guys know the story, but quite simply and ironic that Jacob just tunes into the live. If he's still with us, I appreciate it, man. But when I connected with Jacob in March 2019, and I was just lost, right? Like I had all these skills. It was a funny thing, is that I knew that I had some skills. I'd been selling stuff offline for 10 plus years at that point. And I'd sold millions of dollars worth of products across a bunch of different industries, and I was pretty good at it. And so I hadn't thought about bringing that skill online. For some reason, it was just a massive disconnect. I thought, okay, I need to get this nice funnel done, or do the thing and whatever. And so then when I got this advice, and this is kind of a two-part thing, this is like echoing what Gary's talking about, but also something else that I've sort of been made aware of, and again, echoing my own journey as well, where the advice was basically simplify things down, right? You don't need all this complex thing, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing that I was going through, but let's just say I was doing a lot of stuff, going live 4 different times per day in 4 different groups. I had a YouTube, I still have a YouTube. Thank you for those that are tuning in via YouTube, by the way. Go check it out if you're not, Jamie Gardner. You'll know where to find it. And so I was producing a YouTube video every single day. I was writing chatbot lists, email marketing, you name it. I was basically doing a whole multitude of things. And in my mind, I thought, it's going to raise the tide slowly by building this thing up. What I hadn't allowed for is that I didn't really have an acquisition process. And so I was basically floundering around doing all this stuff, and all this stuff wasn't really helping me build my business forward. I was making a few sales here and there. They're all low ticket things. I might make $100 one day, and then I'll make nothing for 2 days. I'll make 150 the next, and then I'll make nothing for another 5 days. And I'll make $5 the next day, so on and so forth. So I wasn't really picking up momentum, wasn't really moving in the right direction. And second part of this little ramble is basically, I don't think I'm a conceited person by any stretch of the imagination, but I definitely had some ego things I need to work through. And I think as entrepreneurs, this is one of the biggest issues that I see a lot of people face as well. And this is actually highlighted with another video I saw last night, strangely enough. I thought, hey, actually, that makes a lot of sense. It's what I've sort of been thinking for a little while. Is that thing of like, basically, I couldn't accept that the information was given that was so simple. Build your group, focus on either getting people on a call or throwing an offer doc in front of them, raise your authority through your Facebook group, through sharing your wins, through sharing your student wins, getting people on calls, or like I say, in front of an offer doc, and just repeat that process. Sell high ticket as your core focus, because that's where the bulk of your cash flow is going to come from. And it was so simple. I was like, yeah, later. Like, look, once I've finished off this project, I'll promise I'll go do that thing. And the project was a course. I've still got it. Go check it out. jamiegardner.com/scale. It's one of the ones in there. It took me 8 months to build. Made about $200 off it when I finally launched, and it was quite depressing at the time. And that was a harsh lesson for me. And so I was like, okay, fine. That clearly didn't work. My pain threshold was at such a point where I was like, okay, fine. I have to just deploy what I'm being taught here. Like, I just have to make it happen. And that thing, I just kind of like let go of everything. I was like, okay, I don't need to be doing 4 lives in 4 different groups every single day. I don't need to be producing YouTube video every single day. I don't need to be writing to my chatbots or emailing my list or producing blog content or whatever. I just need one singular focus. And so what's the easiest way that I can do that? It's prospecting, right? Which I've been doing in my offline job for freaking years anyway. I was quite good at it, right? So I was like, okay, how can I just do this? And so I did. Simplified everything, got rid of all the stuff, let go of all the emotional equity that I put into building all these things for such a long time, and went, okay, you know what? Clearly, I've made a mistake. I've learned a lot. I've started to get some traction, but I don't have a decade. I want to get the stuff happening sooner rather than later. And the miraculous thing was that after all this stuff, I let go of that stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to super hyper focus on this. I'm just going to do what the guy that's getting the results that I want told me to do. Who'd have thunk it, right? Who'd have freaking thunk it that was the answer all along? And so I did. And then 7 days later, I had my first $1,000 day. And then the next day, had another one. It wasn't a fluke. And then I had my first 10K month, although it was just shy of like 9,800 and something over a 30-day time frame. Semantics, right? But then the point being is that it's grown in around about 3 years to be between sort of $20,000 and $50,000 per month, which is insane. Not every month's going to be a big outlier, 50K a month, of course. I'm still working on that. I'm still working on stabilizing my income and growing over time. But coming back to my point, that is the point, is that I have a long-term view of this stuff. I'm not looking for just anything that's going to make a quick buck now. I want to build assets, and I want to build longevity. I want to build a brand that is going to feed me not just now, but grow year on year over an extended period of time. Because I'm kind of like Terminator. I'm just going to keep going, just keep running at you. Anyway, that's my little rant for today. Basically, the whole point of this is pretty much that instead of like looking at how can I go from zero to hero like that, how can I build a foundation that is stable, that is going to allow me to quit my job if you choose to. Some of you I know actually enjoy work, but how am I going to build something that's going to allow me to do that, build something that is sustainable, feels very congruent with who I am, so I'm not selling shit basically, and build this business which is something that I can be really proud of, right? And so if you take that long-term view, you understand you can actually get a whole bunch of stuff done in a day. It's actually quite remarkable when you focus on the stuff. But you have that longer-term view of things. Things are going to take off. And what tends to happen, I've seen it, and like I say, if Jacob, if you're still with us here, we've seen it countless times with Super Affiliate Accelerator. I've seen it times with my own Ultimate Marketing Mastermind as well, which is my own private coaching. So you see it where people's like, oh, this is hard. Am I getting, I don't know, am I going in the right direction? I don't know. And there's this lack of belief because the success hasn't quite arrived in the time frame that that person had anticipated. And then eventually, once things start taking off, and all of a sudden there's like first high ticket sales, like, oh, that was fun. How can I repeat that? Bang, made another one. Okay, how can I repeat that? Okay, now I think I'm getting the hang of this. And that's usually when you just see this like crazy graph happen, and it just goes like nothing, and then bang, just absolutely takes off. And that was the case for me. case for many of the 700 plus students we've now got, where it just seems like things aren't working quite the speed in which people want, but they're building the foundation, and then all of a sudden clicks into place, something happens within their mind, and they absolutely just start crushing it really, really quickly. So advice and the whole premise of this entire live is basically, if you're out there and your things aren't happening at the speed in which you want, and you're like, oh gosh, this is frustrating, I need 10K like right now, understand that what you're laying down in terms of your foundation now are going to set you up, right? If you have a 6 month time frame, if you have a 1 year time frame, if you have a 5 year time frame, incredible things can happen in a very, very short space of time. And once you do start to get that momentum, it tends to carry on a life of its own. And that will build and build and build as long as you keep chipping away at it, improving what you're doing, looking after your mindset, all that type of stuff. And you're going to build an incredible business over the long run. Right, so that's it for me today. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure that you're just focusing on the long-term stuff, focusing on the fundamentals, things that don't change. Is what I teach inside my Ultimate Marketing Mastermind. Is we talk about sales, we talk about marketing, offer creation, branding, things that are based on human psychology, which it evolves slowly, but it doesn't tend to change rapidly. And that's kind of the core focus. So if that's of interest, head up one of my affiliates. We've got a pretty good deal going for the Black Friday / November sale, basically high ticket coaching for pretty low ticket prices. And, that's something that I think a lot of people have already jumped into. A lot of people are going to jump into before the end of November as well. So looking forward to seeing everyone in there. Anyway, hope this helps. Hope this makes sense. And thank you all for tuning in. See you in the next one.